Just today, what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give you a bit of background to Piper Private Equity, who we are. I'm going to give you a bit of background to myself, why I'm here. And then I'm going to go straight on to what we look for in fast growth e-commerce businesses when we are evaluating for investment. First of all, a bit of the Piper story. Unlike most private equity houses, Piper was set up about 25 years ago. It wasn't set up by ex-hedge fund guys or bankers. It was actually two brand consultants. They saw a gap in the hospitality market, became founders and entrepreneurs themselves by growing and selling the chain of pubs, Pitch and Piano. And that was over a 7-year period. So during that process, they were actual entrepreneurs. They felt the pain points. They had all the war stories, kind of a blueprint on how to create successful business. Having exited, they then exclusively focused on added value investing in consumer brands. That was since 1998, and the mantra has always been the same to when they set up Pitch and Piano, and that is customers should always be at the heart of any brand. Now we have a small dedicated team of 12 based in Notting Hill. We kind of call ourselves kind of experts, added value, to help accelerate growth and realize a brand's potential. What we do, we manage a fund of 123 million. 11 million is our own money that we commit to the fund. And we focus on the above sectors, typically invest in anything between 5 and 25 million. Every deal is unique, there's no set criteria. Majority of our deals are minority. And we want to back a team or founders that have the ambition to create a true brand legend. We invest in 1 to 3 deals per annum because we're a small team, that's all we can partner with. Because we put our own money in, we have to make sure that every investment is a success. Here's an example of some of the partners that we've had the privilege of investing in, some old, some existing, and it was actually at Maximuscle where I got to know Piper when they invested in our brand in 2004. So a bit about me. I joined Maximuscle in 2002 as a web developer, having spent the 90s developing HTML e-commerce websites, mainly in Intershop and Actinic. When I joined Maximuscle, I re-platformed the site, so I am a techie geek. And in the process of redeveloping the kind of site, I used tech to embed the website in all aspects of the business, the warehouse, marketing, and even now what we talk about, Impact Theatre, it was all controlled by tech. Piper invested in 2004 when we were valued about 10 million. And 6 years later, we sold to GlaxoSmithKline for 162 million. So complete rapid growth. And one of the areas that they attributed the value to was the asset that we created with the direct-to-consumer business, which at the time was about 30% of the total business. So having left Maximuscle, I joined Piper. I did a brief stint at GSK as their global head of e-commerce, but then realized I had a pulse, and I wanted to get back into helping grow consumer brands. I joined Piper. I now sit on several boards, as we do with a lean team, one of which is Fourth Glade, another brand that's here today, Neon Organics. But due to my kind of experience and my passion, I am still a techie geek. I like to get involved with all of the businesses, all of their digital strategies and infrastructure. So before I come on to the main topics I want to discuss today, I thought I'd just run through. I keep getting asked what Maximuscle went from 10 to 162 million. What are the learnings and how things have changed since joining Piper? And secondly, what would I have done differently back in the day? And I thought I'll just show you this video which kind of encapsulates and helps me articulate.
My name's Jeff, and I'm an Instagram husband. Behind every cute girl on Instagram is a guy like me and a brick wall.
My name's Trey. I'm an Instagram husband. I've had to delete all of the apps off my phone just to make more room for more photos.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm an Instagram husband. I love my life so much.
My job in pictures is to make her look good.
I want you to just take a picture like higher, no higher, higher, higher. Babe, higher.
I'm basically a human selfie stick.
Go.
Last year for Christmas, I actually got her a selfie stick. And then she got mad at me because she thought I was just trying to get out of taking photos. Of course I'm trying to get out of taking your f***ing photo.
What are you doing in here? Taking a picture of all your stuff? Yeah, this is a good moment. I support that. Oh wait, just a second. I should probably comment on this. It helps me out if I'm the first one to comment. Cute.
It's become a pretty big problem. We take so long to get anywhere because we're taking pictures of our feet.
Oh, shoe pick, shoe pick. No, this one's better. No, stop. Move your foot. Okay, can we hold hands? One more. I like this leaf right here.
Yeah, we used to eat our food. Now we just take pictures of it.
No, you can't do that. I haven't taken a shot of that yet. God, we have to show everybody how much we enjoy our lives together.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable.
If you or someone you know is an Instagram husband, help is out there. Go to instagramhusband.com and see how millions of men just like you have found hope.
I love playing that video. But it's there to just show that, the question, what has changed in the industry over, it's not even 10 years, is more recent than that, and that's the influence and the opportunity of social media and mobile first, as Peter alluded to earlier. Would I have changed anything? I suppose it's the approach. We were quite nimble. The result would be absolutely different, completely different to what we have or what we created then. So just coming on to what we look for, just a very brief overview of when we're evaluating e-commerce businesses, what are the key areas? And there's four main ones, starting with consumer. So apart from ensuring there's a big enough market, we need to ensure the brand knows who the consumer is, where they are, and what they are saying. I'm going to relate a lot of things back to Maxi to give you a comparison, but in Maximuscle in 2004, the only way we can get in front of the consumer was by making sure that we were in the gym channel. It wasn't a profit center, we actually turned it into a marketing channel, but it was great access to the consumer. Nowadays, as per the video suggests, it's a staggering 220 minutes every day a UK consumer spends looking at their mobile. So that's where the consumer is. If you think about it, it's more time than you spend looking at your wife or your kids when you get home at night. With Facebook, Instagram, various methods of retargeting, it is now easier than ever to get in front of consumers. It is also easier than ever for your consumer to get in front of your other potential consumers. So with that in mind, what do we look for? We spend a great deal of time manually evaluating brand social presence. Numbers give a good barometer, but we're more interested in the engagement. We monitor all types of review platforms to hear what the consumer's saying, and we compare it against competitors that are within the same sector. We also can look at the time it takes for a brand to respond and the tone of voice that the brand communicates with the consumer. As an example of how effective this can be, recently we were talking to a brand who's recruiting an FD. The candidate was doing her own due diligence on the brand, and at 11 o'clock on a Saturday evening, posted on Facebook Messenger a question with regards to the brand. She received a response within 4 minutes at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. She attributed the strength of the brand to the quality and speed of the response, and subsequently ended up taking the role. Secondly, tech. This is an area I'm incredibly passionate about, as you've probably heard. Technology should always be an enabler. It should never be a bottleneck, especially in these days. Times are changing and brands need to be in a position to adapt quickly. Last week I was with an athleisure wear business in sunny Wales. They told me that they take delivery on a Monday morning of 500 limited edition t-shirts. They print it in the afternoon. It's with the 3PL on the Tuesday, and they're sold out online by the Thursday. And then they go through that cycle of exclusivity week by week. To meet those timescales, no mean feat, and it's all tech-enabled. So marketing comms are set up, product into the 3PL, packaging, comms internally, content inserts, tracking. This all controlled, measured, and achieved through latest advances in tech and automation of tech. There's a lot of fast fashion out there. All of those guys are nailing it at the moment, and they're attributing to the changes and accessibility of new tech. So what we look for when we're evaluating businesses, first, we are platform agnostic. However, in my experience, it's about the agency or the in-house capability over the choice of platform. I've been involved in many re-platforming myself, and I have, hands up, screwed up on quite a lot at Maxi, which I'm never allowed to happen again. 15 years of pain. A bit of a plug for We Are JH. I actually met James about 5 years ago when there was 2 bodged implementations of Magento 1 that I was asked to help with. They rescued it. So since then, I've completely been recommending. And since then, we've had 2 Magento 2 websites have been built. One was developed by We Are JH, and it's actually an award-winning site, Neon Organics. So we're incredibly happy with that. The second, unfortunately, wasn't developed by JH. We've had a year of pain and, unfortunately, offload into Shopify Plus. We attribute a great deal of value to infrastructure. So when a business present a 3 to 5 year plan, we look at the tech and whether the platform is scalable, fit for purpose, and can be agile. Scalability is incredibly important, especially around key promotional periods. Several of our brands now account for big spikes. They produce products specifically for promotion a year ahead, and they gear up both tech and warehouse teams for these key periods. Does the brand have a single view of consumer? It's incredibly important for marketing activation and streamlining budgets. I recently visited a brand that's not within our portfolio that I've been a consumer for online for 5 years. They opened up a shop, which I went to. They asked me for my email address, which I was completely chuffed because I thought they'll see my previous history and loyalty to the brand. And then they asked me for my address, which kind of broke things down a little, and then they explained that the systems are not connected. Nowadays, we expect it to be totally integrated. You want to be, if you ask for my email address, I'd expect you to say which address would you like to, which credit card would you like to bill to, which address would you like us to send to, so you don't have to carry it around today. And what I certainly don't want to be doing is receiving nursery program of welcome emails. The third area which we probe is consumer touchpoints. Again, I'd just like to show you a brief video to break up my monotone presentation.
Hey there. Long time no see. Looking good.
Yeah. Let's just keep this simple. I want a divorce.
What now?
I think you heard me just fine.
Come on. This is me. What's wrong?
We don't talk anymore.
I just put down $1 million on a TV commercial just to talk to you.
Exactly. You do all the talking. I never get a chance.
Talk on our website, can't you?
Sure. If I want to say, order this product.
See?
It's not exactly a dialogue.
What about the print campaign, You can't tell me you missed the billboard in Times Square. That was like a 200-foot tall declaration of love.
You're saying you love me, but you're not behaving like you love me. It's not genuine.
I don't know. The agency said I was genuinely being funny. Genuinely being charming. They said you would love everything I did.
Would you keep your voice down? You're not doing a radio commercial. Look, whether you're funny or not, it's just, I've changed, and you haven't. I mean, we don't even hang out in the same places anymore. You're not even listening, are you?
Coupons. You want coupons, don't you? Look, come by the store. I got 2 words for you. Loyalty, reduction. Am I right? That was it, wasn't it? Let's just hug.
If you knew me, you'd know I don't care about that.
Know you? Sweetheart, I know everything about you. You're 28 to 34. Your online interests include music, movies, and laser hair removal. You have a modest but dependable disposable income. Am I the only one not getting the problem here?
I'm out of here.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Look, I'll tell you what. Come back here tomorrow. I'll give you the chance to win a Bahamas vacation. There's a small chance, minuscule, but technically still a chance. Might be like the old days.
Now more than ever, a brand needs to ensure the level of customer experience is as good as the product. Otherwise, you'll lose the potential advocacy and end up with a divorce. Now, that video was created a long time ago. Probably have seen it. But what we have now is millennials and Gen Z who are a demanding bunch, instant recognition, high levels of customer service, and accessibility to a brand are now a given, not a must. Speaking with the pure players, another good example of how they go about engaging and making sure the consumer is first. Pure play consumer brand, they actually predict whether their Royal Mail delivery will be on time. If they predict it's not going to be delivered on time, they will automatically refund, let you know about it, and send you another product free of charge the following day. That's extreme levels of customer services. When we're looking at all of the touch points, one thing we touch upon is what makes your brand better and different. It's not just about the product itself now, as Peter alluded to earlier. It's all about the customer experience, servicing the consumers, not just in the UK, but how it varies abroad. Consistency of messaging, approach, tone of voice, ensuring all the communications come from the heart, not the head, otherwise consumers will see through it. Reviewing all the touch points for us will also help us determine whether the brand's vision and values are being replicated and endorsed throughout the business and agencies that are integrated. It's simple to do, it's a simple method. Didn't do it at Maximuscle, but you know, as a brand owner, buy from your site, do the basics, register, don't buy, register, buy, set up different accounts, experience, and also compare it to competitors, and get the package delivered just to see what the surprise and delight on your first order to encourage you to the second. These are all the things that we kind of look at in detail when evaluating a brand. And at each stage throughout the customer journey, just make sure that the brand consistency of message and voice is articulated. And finally, it comes down to KPIs, the kind of key performance indicators to ensure that you're on target and to deliver. We spend a great deal of time evaluating financial models against business strategy, and invariably end up building our own model for online based on some learnings. We share the model as part of the due diligence and invariably help embed KPI templates to work on from to scale. Areas covered include understanding the cost of acquisition, the lifetime values, the in-depth cohort analysis. We know Facebook costs are just going to increase. Ultimately, does the brand know the true cost per acquisition, the true cost per order, and how does this vary internationally? There's no hard or fast rule, but on average, we're seeing about 25% of the gross first order value being spent on CPA. But caveat that there's massive variance because it all depends on the high repeat nature of the businesses. On average, we look at a kind of 40% retention rate over a 12-month period. But again, you know, some sites are slightly sticky depending on the LTV and the type of the product. When we're evaluating brands, it's key to note that we actually look at the cohort analysis for 3, 6, 12, 24, 36-month cohorts, so it can help us forecast revenues and lifetime values, but it also helps us understand the trends and any impending issues that might be on the horizon. Obviously, that is all achieved if the company has accessibility to the data and internal capabilities to interrogate and extract. So, obviously, there's a whole lot more that we go into when evaluating and looking at businesses, but these were some key points when looking at your own e-commerce, which is pretty much what we did back at Maxi. So to summarize, what do we look for? Where are the consumers? What are they saying? What steps is the brand taking to engage and react? Tech should never be a bottleneck. Is it fit for purpose, and how integrated is it with the rest of the business? Is the brand maximizing each and every touch point? Be a mystery shopper and ensure you are maximizing the consumer proposition. Is the experience as good as the product? And finally, have we got the sufficient KPIs and tools in place to monitor daily against the plan and ultimately the end goal? Thank you. All right. I'm not sure of timescales, but they did say...
Thank you very much, Leon. Has anybody got any questions? We've got a bit of time. No? So informative. Oh, one at the back. I think I can see. Oh, let me come to you. I'm coming. Think this through.
Hello, and thanks for the presentation. So, when you're analyzing an e-commerce, do you have any kind of benchmarks like retention rate or stuff like that you would like to disclose with us? So, from where does an e-commerce look healthy from your perspective?
Good question. It all depends on the brand.
Or on specific verticals, if you have that.
Without giving too much away, if you just look at Maxi, and I use that because we created quite a lot of value there, but our retention rate was 43% of people who bought within a 12-month period would buy at least two or more. Lifetime values were in excess of £400 or £500. So we could step up the acquisition side because we had decent margins. And what else can I tell you is, first to second order had an impact on the period for first, second order, really impacts lifetime value. The quicker you can get someone back in, the higher the LTV over a period. And I suppose the only other thing which kind of answers your question, but something that we did there was look at your first order levels. So if you found, on your first order, the AOV is £85, if people are willing to spend £300 on their first order, have a different retention strategy for them. You should be writing a letter thanking them, not just giving them the standard kind of default emails. Does that kind of answer your question? If not, let's have a Prosecco later and I'll give you GDPR. I've got to be careful what I say.
Careful mentioning those letters. Has anybody else got any other questions? Oh, what, really? At the front?
Of all of your investments, which one, maybe it's not one that you've invested in yet, which one best exemplifies the post-sale experience being about as good as it gets?
Oh.
I'll put a little bit more into that.
Yeah, I can answer it.
Online and offline retailer. One of the things we have posed a few web agencies to look at is what we would call shepherding a customer to a shop. And the best that we get is, wouldn't it be great to make a photo shoot, and we can show a whole load of photos and a bit of video, and if we show them that, that's a wonderful experience online, isn't it? To me, that seems incredibly limp. What I'm looking for is an example of where somebody really does have a solid model of how to create that. Yes, we've made our first sale, we've taken £1,000 off them, we might even take another £1,000 on another visit, but this whole experiential thing, about as good as it gets. Who's done it? I've looked at Harvey Nichols, I'm in fashion. Harrods in fashion. All of the major players don't yet seem to have an exemplification when they can seriously throw a huge amount of money at it of how to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so to answer your question, who does it well? An example of our brands and other brands within our network. So, all of our brand, high fashion wear, resort wear, started with shorts now into outerwear. You know, if you buy something from them and you receive, so they got stores and online, the whole surprise and delight of opening that packaging makes you want to gift. It's high ticket value, but it's incredible the amount of effort they go to, even ironing the clothes before they are packaged, and then unraveling it. You realise, you know, if you were going to gift that, you will get such a happy. Well, you feel confident that you can just send that product. We're seeing that with a lot of other brands. Monica Vinader.
Which one was this?
All Bar Brown. One of the brands we're investing in. Another one is Monica Vinader, which is a jewellery brand, which is quite global now. Again, that opening the package post-purchase, a lot of money, time and effort has gone into the presentation. And I suppose one of the things that you can do is benchmark gifting companies, because gifting purchases is all about giving it to, having it sent to another person, and not actually being there. So you've got to have that confidence. And some of the gifting companies, My First Years is a prime example. I don't know if any of you got kids, but when you receive a My First Year's gift, it makes you just want to gift it. And that's an incredible hook. So, you know, retention rates, we always talk about acquisition. You know, retention is much easier and cheaper, so invest in the kind of post-delivery experience.
There's something that was struck me as very interesting in the keynote speech was how much anticipation was being built up before a product was even delivered, in the case of the Tesla, for example.
Yeah.
And it was quite clear that he was passionate even before the product had arrived, even in the context of a 2-year delivery timescale.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether anybody has been able to get it past the 2 years. You've got the product, you love it, but then that experiential thing beyond that.
Yeah.
If we can imagine in a time when maybe the high street is only 50% the size it is now, there's nowhere physically to go, so our best experience is going to be the online experience. It seems not too many people have managed to be able to build up that experience that he explained that he got with Tesla. The other side of the sale.
When we're looking at brands, we say, you know, the experience has to be on par. It's got to be as good as the product, because it's a different generation. Time sensitive, demanding, want instant recognition. You've got to build that into your business. I like the comment by Peter earlier about you invent the future. I think you've got to keep on your toes. You've got to do things cleverly. You've got to get a lot of the basics right. I wouldn't go reinventing the wheel. You've got to get the basics right first of all. But certainly, you know, to have the edge, to be different and better, we should be on our toes.
Thank you very much, Leon. If anybody else has any other questions, how are they best getting in touch with you?
At the bar.
At the bar. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Please put your hands together for Leon, people. Yeah.